Today I thought we would talk about how much sex is enough.
Well, that's a bit of an individual one, but it seems like men seems to want more sex than women.
Is that right?
Yes. There is higher need for men because of often, higher testosterone.
Ah, okay. And so does sex come naturally to everyone though? You say that there's more men want it than women. So is that natural?
Well, it is natural, but especially when a man and a woman meet, there seems to be, a higher sexual desire at the beginning, especially for women. As for men, it just stays on and on and on. As for women, the desire seems to be changing at a certain type of the relationship.
Oh, so that's why you may get clients to try and understand that. Would that be right?
Exactly, especially if they've been in a long-term relationship.
Ah, so when you say long-term, what does long-term? Because somebody might think it's 6 months, but others may think it's 10 years.
Well, especially if they start to have children, it seems to be changing at this time, or if they've been together for maybe 3, 4 years, 5 years even, then it changes to be different. But the fact of the children makes it a little bit different as well.
It would. Now, I'm a woman, you're a woman, and I know our language is about intimacy.
Yeah.
We crave intimacy. Do men understand that? Do they know about intimacy?
Well, actually, a lot of people do not understand about intimacy, because intimacy is, before anything, trust. Intimacy is being yourself, not being afraid to be who you are. So this is our really intimacy style, but there will be a lot of things to talk about intimacy. But if we only just think about, trust and trusting who we are and be able to, be free to be who we are with the other person, that is a big part of intimacy.
So if a man allows a woman to be free to who she is, would that allow him to get more sex?
Yeah, well, it's a big word, allowing somebody, because, we should think about empowering ourselves to be who we are.
Yep.
And especially in a relationship, the one who seems to be working is where they keep their own identity. Because people blend together and they lose their identity, and that they're not themselves anymore.
Yes.
They become the other person.
Yes.
So there's all sorts of issue with starts there.
Okay. So can you give us an example of maybe that the male, you're saying about sexual desire, there's like almost an imbalance of that. An example of a male's desire, like does he want sex 10 times a day, and does a woman want it once a week? Is that like after a period of time, is that the norm? Or?
Well, from the statistic, from that book from Juliet Richer in A Love Down Under, it's about 2 times a week, but most of the men wish they could have more, and that's when we'll think about masturbation.
Exactly. Masturbation. Do women understand masturbation, or is it a normal thing for a male to be masturbating himself?
Well, it is a normal thing for male to be masturbating themselves as they start when they're already little boys, as a lot of women don't even know what it is to be masturbating. And it's very difficult for the men, and especially the women, to understand masturbation, because men have such a higher need. They need to do something about it. And if they don't have intercourse, they need to be masturbating, and a lot of the women don't support that. So the men have to hide. They have to go maybe in their, their bathroom or whatever, and so there's no sex and no understanding in masturbation. So it is very, very difficult. So it's a big communication for the women to understand, that the men, for a certain, sexual need to masturbate if there is no intercourse.
So, what do you suggest a male could say to his partner that it's okay for him to masturbate? How could that enter into a dialogue?
The problem is a lot of women have a core belief from before, from being little girl, and maybe from a religious belief of masturbation might be a dirty things.
Yeah.
So it's all an education to be done with women as well. But if women could start reading books and understanding the needs of men, that they need that masturbation, and be a bit open about it, and because they're not going to be willing to have intercourse because they don't feel like it, so understanding that the men might be masturbating either with them or either wherever, in the bathroom if the woman doesn't want to be there, but at least give them the support. So the man doesn't have to go into the, another room and hide his masturbation. So very difficult for us, women being not understanding that really, and the poor men is out there on their own with their masturbation and not knowing where to go.
So to summarise then, it sounds like both males and females have a very, very important part to play in the role of how much sex is enough, to communicate to each other what their needs are, and to be able to talk and feel comfortable about that. And of course, if they don't, to look outside and how books or someone like yourself could assist them in their relationship. Would that be right?
Yes, it's the sex conversation. It seems to be very difficult for the women. A lot of women don't want to hear about the sex conversation, and so the best way to start the conversation is for books for women. If a man maybe could, I don't know, for their birthday or not for their birthday, buy them a self-help book, something about Rosie King, for example. She's a sex therapist who wrote lots of books about it. Give their wife, this book and maybe read themselves and start discussing what's happening in this book. So this open, a sexual conversation, it is really needed out there, and it's not happening. A lot of women don't want to talk about sex.
So if anyone wants to get in contact with you, how would they, France?
Yeah, just send me an email to france@sexualhealing.net.au, or just look on my website www.sexualhealing.net.au.
Lovely, thank you.
Thank you.